Hi, as you may know, I've been renovating a new place to move into a bigger office, and it's almost done, but details. For example, here, the stairs into the basement, and there is no light here, and I don't want you to trip over the stairs and die and sue me later. So the solution is simple. Install a light fixture, except, as you can see, there is no electric box here to connect the light to, so let's run electricity for it. Okay, let's see what we got. So that space, the space behind here is under the deck, which allows me to run wire through it. And this is its entrance to a place that is reserved for rats and, I don't know, suspicious animals. It would be funny if I opened the door and somebody was living in there. Boy, I'm trying to slip here. Let's see what we got here. It's pretty tight here, but it's okay. I'm slick. Ah! Here, we were smart enough to ask our electricians to install an outlet here with GFCI protection under the deck. And that's where the light would go. Question is the GFCI functional? Hey, it popped. Although, I'm not 100% sure if you can trust these buttons. Let's grab my tools. So I hooked up my beefy potentiometer, which is not gonna blow up easily anymore, series with my ammeter between live and earth, and I'm gonna increase the current slowly to see if I can trip the GFCI. Right now it's at 4 milliamps, and if I increase it slowly, oh, there, it popped at around 4.9 milliamps. It's nice to have a functioning GFCI. So I already bought everything I needed, like wire clamps, plastic box, wire itself, and my main actor, which is a waterproof remote control power switch that you can plug 3 things into it and turn them on and off with a remote all at the same time, like, you know, landscape lighting and such. The reason for this is that, of course, because I have continuous power, so in order to turn my light on and off, I need to have some sort of switch, which is remote controlled. Or, instead of that, you could buy a light with those light sensors that if you pass in front of it, it turns on and off. But those lights with sensors are usually ugly, and I wanted something prettier for that location. Everything I have here is 15 amps rated, including the wire that is 14 gauge 15 amps, and my outlet is on a 15 amp breaker, so everything is protected nicely. This cord is also outdoor rated, whatever that means. More waterproof? It's important to have your safety gear with you when doing this type of work. That's why I have my knee pads on. As you can see, under the deck is pretty exposed to the environment, rain and cold and heat and everything. So first thing we do is we mark where we want to cut our hole, like so. Drill a hole into the siding, jigsaw the big hole out. And that's done. So I'm slipping here. Oh, I locked myself in here. Damn it. Oh, there it is. I'm torn between making sure that nobody can lock themselves in there accidentally or add a spring to the door to make sure it closes and set up a trap. Let me out! First, let me see how much wire we need. Strap these in place. Fortunately, we are left with some excess length of cable, so we take some generous length and cut the rest of it off. Oh, damn it! I forgot to unplug it. There was a 30% chance of shorting live and neutral that are not protected by GFCI. I guess I hit the jackpot. What the hell? I thought I unplugged it. Damn it. Wait, let me do an experiment first. Then I'll unplug it. The f***? I thought I plugged it in. We plug in our remote control switch and plug our light into it. Then we can just control it with the remote. Keep it off for now. Damn it, it's not an easy place to work in. No, we just pop the hole at the bottom of this box
so that we can tighten this fitting into it. Fortunately, I have some leftover deck composite material that's not gonna rot for the backing of my box. I screw my box to it. Now first, I pass the wire, first through this one, then the washer, then pass it through the box and screw this thing nice and tight in place. This is going to hold the wire in place. And then I put the box where it should be and screw it on the stud here. And that's that, with the box on the other side. Let's get out of this rat-infested place. You're done in there. Now, we just strip the wire without cutting ourselves. Good. Connect the ground to the box. Well, maybe a little bit better. Connect this metal thing into place and screw it into the same spot that, connects the metal thing to earth connection of the box. It's okay if it is loose a little bit. The light will push it in place and hold it tight. Connect the light's earth ground to this metal thing. Well, let's make sure the light switch is off and notify the live and neutral. Connect live to live. Put the nut connector thingy. Same for neutral. Do a quick check. It turns on! We did it! Well, not yet. It has to go into place. For good measure, I'm gonna put some electric tape around my contacts so all the water won't get on them. But doesn't hurt, does it? Like this. Now we just put the light on. Huh. Nice! And now we turn it on. Bing bong, bing bong. We have light! Very good, very nice. One more item down. Now, probably a ton of electricians out there are throwing a tantrum right now about how this is not done per code. But let me show you something. The wire I used in there is waterproof.
No, but seriously, you might think that because the wire is running outside and is exposed to people and animals, not only you must use those power wires with protective metal sleeves on them, but also because they are exposed to the rain and the elements, it must have another plastic jacket on it. Of course, it doesn't hurt to have more protection, but then you must ask yourselves, is it necessary or is it adding more complexity that might cause problems later? Perhaps working with the stuff you have and picking proper components is more than adequate and is more cost effective. It is always better to ask professionals if you are worried about your skills, but if you are going to do it yourselves, then ask yourselves, what is the code intended to achieve? It is about keeping people and property safe, so you have to think about everything that can go wrong that can cause a problem. And when you're in doubt, you can compare it to the existing design in your property or just ask a professional.
For example, is it possible for the people and animal who crawl into this space to hurt themselves, like cutting the wire or nibbling on it? Well, I installed the wire raised from the ground, so only rodents like squirrels and rats can get in there and won't be able to reach the wire and nibble on it.
And what if they do? Well, them for doing that. They deserve what they get, and yet they are protected. Not only that outlet there has ground fault protection or GFCI, my breaker here has arc fault protection or AFCI, so anyone is well protected touching live and earth together. The only way they could get hurt is by putting live and neutral out, strip them and touch them at the same time, in which case, them. They deserve what they get. But is it necessary to have heavily protected wire in that space? I think not, comparing it to the code used on other places in the house.
I mean, this place is pretty tight and you can barely move in there. Like attic or crawl space of the house.
The attic of the house gets some foot traffic, and we have these soft shell power wires.
Same as the crawl space under the house. Arguably, this space is like a crawl space that gets even less foot traffic, if anything at all, because it's dirty.
So the only other real thing remains is the rainwater getting over the wires and components through the top of the deck. So the components I bought are waterproof and are for outdoor use, and everywhere else I made sure the water doesn't get over the contacts and wires. For example, see, I'm not worried about water getting inside the box. First of all, there is a tad bit of sealing over it, so it acts like a flashing and blocks some of the water to get over the fixture. And even if the water gets inside the box, see, the wire is sitting above the lip of the box, so even if this is flooded in there, it just flows outside the box. And there is a step from this level to the edge of the box, which means even though if the water gets inside this edge, it'll go over under the box into this attic crawl space. What I'm trying to say is that there won't be any standing water in the box, and it's not gonna flood up anyways. It's all gonna pour out. And the box is plastic, so it's safe. And the ground connection is up here, so it never meets water. So even if water somehow finds its way over the contacts, or someone accidentally chops the wires, or your child starts biting on my wires, then suddenly GFCI and AFCI, so they are well protected. If you are still worried, just don't come to my house.